Macca's Guides.
Hey everyone, Macca here, playing House of Ashes. This is the third game in the Dark Pictures Anthology, and in this video I'm going to show you all 63 of the collectibles, including all 50 of the secrets and all 13 of the pictures. I actually really enjoyed my time with this game, and a single playthrough clocks in around 5 to 6 hours. All the information you need for a collectible is shown on screen in the bottom left corner. That is the scene we're in, called Cursed. In the bottom right hand corner is the name of the collectible. It'll be numbered based on the in-game menu, so it'll be really easy to mop up if you need to on a second playthrough. In the top right corner you can find an ongoing counter of all collectibles. The first thing we can find is Black Picture 1, Arisen. In the prologue, you can find it to the right of the screen once you gain control of the character. We then move on to the briefing and we take control of Eric the Colonel. If you walk forward and hook a right around the table, you can find a mug. Move it over to reveal the secret paper underneath.
You don't step on my foot.
The next chapter is called The Raid. You'll take control of Salim coming home in order to find his son, Zane. They will not be home, but we can find secret number 2, the Mythology book. Once we gain control of the character inside the house, walk forward, take a right-hand turn through the hallway, and you'll find the bedroom at the last door. You'll need to come here as a part of the story, so don't worry, you can't really miss it. But once inside the room, don't go towards the bed. Instead, go towards the table at the far end of the room. Inspect the book, open it up, and flip to the second page in order to find this secret. A little bit later on, there will be an interrogation scene with Rachel, and then Jason will walk into the room and notice something hanging from the ceiling. And for this one, we do have to select a very specific dialogue choice. You will need to be curious. When you're curious, you'll go up to the item and grab it. You'll have to inspect it, and this will unlock secret number 17, according to the menu of the game, called the Pagan Effigy. Also, if you are wondering, in comparison to the first game of the series, Man of Medan, the collectibles in this are a lot easier. Rachel will then go to a second room and get a little bit of face moisturizer in the scene, and you can then use your gun to melee this person. And after this, you will disperse. I've cut a little bit of the scene out. But once you start taking control of your character, don't leave the house right away. We'll take control of Jason, and we'll find the collectible basically behind us and over our right shoulder. This is the first white picture, called Disarmed. White pictures are usually good decisions that can happen later on, whereas black pictures show bad things that you may want to avoid. You'll then want to leave this house, and as you exit, take a left-hand turn and go to the other hut. As soon as you go inside, take the first entrance on your left to head into a room, and then in the back corner, you can find the gas mask. This is what the game calls secret number 7.
Got some gas masks here.
We then change chapters to Underworld, and we're in the room where Nick and Jason meet with the huge hand. As soon as you take control of Nick, go underneath the hand from behind in order to find the punctured skull, secret number 47.
Oh, shit. The fuck happened?
In the same room as the previous collectible where Nick and Jason met with the big hand, head up the stairs, and you'll notice the black picture. This is the second one of the game. This one is called Squeeze. The next scene is called Pazuzu. We'll take control of Salim here, and they will push forward into this large room with a staircase. Do not go down the stairs, as that causes a cutscene. There's an obvious item on your right you can inspect, but actually we want to grab the second white picture called Daylight in the little crook on the left-hand side of this room. We then switch over to Eric and Rachel, who are now together, and as soon as you gain control of Eric, you'll walk forward through this kind of dark and narrow tunnel. And at the very end of the tunnel, the path kind of splits, but you want to keep to the right-hand side. There's a little bit of an extra path leading that way, and if you go down that path to the right-hand side, at the very end of the path, you'll notice black picture number 3, Fallen. It'll show you something bad that you may want to try to avoid later in the game. Eric and Rachel will then kind of go around this door that's on like a cliff's edge right near a large hole. And then right after, you'll gain control of Eric in this room. And if you just go forward and a little bit to the left, you'll find Pazuzu on the ground. Inspect that and have a little bit of a conversation before moving on.
It's Pazuzu.
You'll eventually reach a chapter called The Temple, and you'll be controlling Rachel here. And there will be a generator, and your goal is to restart the generator. You can do these collectibles before or after. I'm going to grab them right away just to have them and not worry about accidentally finishing the chapter. So directly behind you, as soon as you start, inside of the pit, you can inspect it and you can find the Dynamite, secret number 44. There are a bunch of secrets in this room, so bear with me here. You can obviously do these secrets in any order, but in that same room as the Dynamite, behind the tent, which would be to your left if you're facing the Dynamite, there is a small wooden crate, and on top of that, you can find a Cuneiform tablet, I believe it's called, secret number 12.
They've been cataloging these pieces. Somewhere.
Continuing in this same room, we're now going to head inside of the tent. You'll have to kind of go around it, obviously, to find the front door. Feel free to bring up your flashlight with the LB. For some characters, it's a lighter, but it'll help you see in the dark, obviously. Inside of the tent, there are 2 collectibles. The first one is Randolph's Journal Part 1 on the right-hand side.
September the 24th, 1945.
This place is starting to make me feel a little uneasy.
And the other collectible in the tent is slightly to the left. It is a little bit disorienting, as when you come out of a collectible, it kind of moves you sometimes. But you can also find secret number 34. This is a picture of the expedition members. After that, you can exit out of the tent, and directly in front of you, there should be a table. On that table, there should be a document you can examine. Once you examine it, you can flip it over and find secret number 32, the Curse of Akkad.
This temple, it was built to appease the gods.
Last but not least, for now, we can find Aline's letter. So if you go up the large staircase, and just before that staircase, if you go to the left, there's a small little station. There'll be a radio here later on, but for now there isn't. But next to that, there's a crate with a mug on top of a piece of paper. Interact with it, move the mug, grab the secret.
Locals were spooked by these mountains. Can't say I blame them.
Now you'll eventually fix the generator and you'll kind of go back and forth, but you'll eventually end up back inside of this temple, controlling Rachel with the generator turned on, and it's going to ask you to go and interact with the tape recorder. Do not do that. Instead, we're going to grab 2 secrets in a side little pocket room. I think we could have gone here with the lights off, but it's a lot harder to see, so we're back here with the lights on. Head up the giant staircase instead of going to the tape recorder, and head into the door on the right-hand side. Feel free to use your flashlight, although you do walk a little bit slower. But at the end of the hallway, there's a small little secret room, and there are two things we can grab in here. First of all is the Creature Features secret collectible.
It mentions echolocation. Is this something to do with bats?
We will also be able to find in this same room the third white picture of the game called Ultraviolet, and this lets us know that the Ultraviolet wand reacts to the skin of the creatures themselves. Very useful information for later. We then move on to a chapter called After the Fall. We're here with Nick and Jason locating the intruder by searching the ruins. As soon as we spawn, walk forward and turn to the right-hand side. Here you can find a little bit of a secret side room with a reference book. You'll have to open it up and flip to the second page, though. Make sure you do that or else it doesn't count.
An eternity.
You will continue along the path with Jason and Nick, and you will reach a tripwire. And for the next collectibles, you must be successful at the QTE to make sure you don't trip the tripwire, or else you don't actually go to this room. Once inside, there will be a small cutscene, but you will eventually take control of a character here. And what you want to do is basically right in front of your feet, as soon as you spawn, you can find Randolph's Journal Part 2.
1946.
Additionally, inside of this room, we can find white picture number 4 on a tablet leaning against a vase in the middle of the room. This one is called Staked, and it's going to let you know that having a stake later on in the game is going to be very useful. Last but not least, in this same room that you accessed if you didn't trip the tripwire, you can find secret number 21, the Star Map. It's a small disc on one of the crates on the opposite side of the room as the picture. We then move on to the chapter Slayer, taking control of Salim, who just climbed in a hole and is in a long tunnel. I'm going to turn on my lighter so you can see a little bit better here. But just keep walking forward and scan on the left-hand side, and you should be able to find secret number 29, Hold Stone. I did fast forward a little bit here, as it's not that close to where you start. Now, at this point in the game, things might be a little bit different from your game than from mine, depending on decisions you've made. But for me, I am in a room with Eric, Nick, and Jason, and I am inspecting a bloodstain. You will for sure reach this same room. You may just not have the same people here with you. But after you inspect the bloodstain, you should take control of Nick. And if you look down and slightly to the right, you should be able to find Randolph's Journal, part number 3.
7th of December, 1946.
In the same room as the previous collectible, right next to it on the ground, you should be able to find white picture number 5. This one is called Surrendered, and you'll see that surrendering might be useful to you in the future if you're playing as Salim. You'll then reach the chapter called Bloodbath. I'm controlling Jason, as you should be as well, and I do have Nick as a companion here. And I'm going to enter this kind of large circular room. And this is right near the beginning. But there should be 4 collectibles in this circular room. Basically like one in every corner. I know it's a circle, but just imagine the circle had corners. And you should be able to find the Bloodless corpse. I believe there is also a Tripwire black picture number 4. This will let you know how someone might die in the future. So this might be something you want to avoid. But then right after that, On the opposite side of the room, if you were to go left from where we entered, we can find secret number 5, the staked woman. This one is really important because you can actually take an item from this collectible with you, the actual stake, and I highly recommend that you take it with you. There will be a dialogue option about halfway through asking you if you'd actually like it. You should take it with you. It might become useful.
Never know when you're gonna need a sharpened stake, right?
On the ground, not far from the staked woman, you can find secret number 23, Randolph's Journal, part 4. There are actually 10 parts to Randolph's Journal. Getting all 10 is a separate collectibles achievement, not related necessarily to all of the secrets or all of the pictures.
What's that?
Says they found something weird down here.
Last but not least, if we were to exit the room using the opposite side door that we used to enter, you can find an item on a box on the left-hand side. This is the cylinder seal.
More crap.
What'd you find?
Nothing that's gonna get us out of here. Right now, I couldn't give a crap if it was the crown jewels of England.
Now, surprise, surprise, Rachel is okay. I'm sure you knew that. They wouldn't have killed off the most popular person in the game right away. But she'll eventually reach this area by herself where there's this kind of, bloodbath going on. And if you were to walk forward and go to your left from where you gain control of her, you can find secret number 11, the plastic ID card, just off to the left there. After grabbing the plastic ID card, we're going to head towards the kind of middle statue here. And as we head towards it, keep to the left. Then behind that, you'll see like a second thing in the middle of the room. And we're going to keep to the left of that as well. Here you can find a secret page kind of floating on top of a rock. Make sure you pick that up. That is Randolph's Journal, part number 5.
28th of December. God forgive.
After grabbing Randolph's Journal, you'll want to go to the opposite side of the room. So we were walking along the left. Now we want to walk kind of along the right, as if we were walking along the right side of the room from where we entered. Hopefully that makes sense. But basically, to the right of that main statue we saw when we entered, we can find the ancient helmet, secret number 48. We then move forward with Rachel and grab the torch. You'll come around this corner and notice these burning logs on the right, as well as this kind of large wheel in front of you. There'll be a pretty obvious collectible flashing off in the distance. This is secret number 8, the science notes. We then are in the chapter called The Signal. I believe we control Nick here, but as soon as we can control him, we're going to patrol the perimeter and search the ruins here as our objective. Directly behind us from where we spawn, find black picture number 5 called Thirst. This is something you want to avoid if you want Nick to survive. There are 5 total collectibles in this room, by the way. So from that collectible, we're going to walk a little bit forward and then to our left, and we'll be able to find Finds catalog sitting on top of a small container here. I believe you'll need to flip to the second page for this one to unlock, so don't forget to do that. Additionally, in this room, a cutscene will automatically trigger, so don't worry if that happens to you. You'll still be able to grab all of the collectibles.
They just stay buried in the dust.
Now, I ended up having the automatic cutscene trigger at this point, and now Jason told Nick to find the radio. And here I'm going to just grab the remainder of the collectibles. You'll notice the feet, there's obviously a left foot and a right foot kind of separating the stairs. So if you were to go to the left from where we started, we can also find the battle tablet, secret number 49. On this side of the room, we can also find the infection symptoms if we were to push a little bit further from the tablet. Just make sure you move the cup over for it to unlock. Very close by to the last collectible, we can also find the vampire speculations. Again, this is in the room where Jason told Nick to find the radio.
Vampires. Fucking knew it.
There are 2 more collectibles in this room. Make sure you grab them before interacting with the radio. So you'll see that I'm passing by the foot. There's the kind of staircase between the feet to my left. And I'm going to go past both of them. You'll see the radio off in the distance here. Don't interact with it yet. This kind of ends the scene prematurely. So continue past the radio and stay to the left of the path. Here you'll find Randolph's journal, part number 6.
30th of December. Mary's
Last but not least, in the same room, we can find the expedition map. Head towards the radio, but do not interact with it. There's a table past it where you can find the expedition map. Then you can interact with the radio. A fun fact about the radio is that if Merwin is still alive, he will fix the radio for you and it should grab you an achievement or trophy. However, that one's pretty rare.
Set up a fake dig site to draw off grave robbers.
After a pretty extended amount of storytelling, you'll end up in a chapter called Enemy of My Enemy, where Jason and Salim work together to get through a door. And here, as soon as you get through the door, you'll take control of Salim, and you'll be able to find in the same room white picture number 6. It's called Comrades. And because this is our final white picture, you should unlock an achievement or trophy for having all 6. This will show Salim throwing a pipe at a vampire to save Jason's life. If you go to the next room from this picture, you can also find secret number 50, the ritual tablet. So make sure you pick that up. Also, from the ritual tablet, we can find Randolph's journal, part number 7. It's a page on the ground to the right of the room. Make sure you grab this before you leave the room via the gate in front of you, which will take you to the medical bay.
9 p.m. Something unholy has...
You will then end up squeezing through a gate, and you'll end up in the medical bay. I believe there are 5 secrets in here, but don't worry, I'll show you all of them. As soon as you start, just over your shoulder to the left, there is a desk. Here we can find the autopsy notes, so make sure you grab those. Additionally, in this room, if we were to continue up the left-hand side, there is a small alcove in here, and you can find the black onyx. Do not interact with the gate until you're ready to leave. I made that mistake once, unfortunately. In the medical bay, you can also find the Parasite notes located on the desk in the middle of the room.
Do you want to hear a joke?
Last but not least, if we were to go to the right side from where we entered into the medical bay, we could find an open cell. Inside of this cell, you can find Randolph's journal, part number 8.
1st of January, 1947.
We then move on to a chapter called The Ancient One, where Salim and Jason have taken an elevator down to the bottom, and we then gain control of Jason. As soon as we gain control of him, you can see the elevator behind us here, but if you go to your left on a table, you will find Fine's ledger. After backing out from the previous collectible, on the opposite side of the elevator door, to the right instead of the left, there's a small little kind of crease here. You can find black picture number 6. This one is called Mauled. You don't want this to happen to you later in the game, but this is our final black picture, which should unlock an achievement or trophy. We can then continue up the path, and on the right-hand side, you should notice a very obvious cocoon. Make sure you interact with this. This is going to be Secret 10, according to the in-game menu, and this one is called simply Cocoon.
What is that? Cocoon? It looks like those things came from...
Moving up from the cocoon, walk forward. You'll notice some stalactites and some kind of like egg formations. Just walk forward and keep to the left. On the left, you'll notice that there is a guy who is unfortunately not really alive anymore, but he's actually not our collectible. He left 2 items with him. The first one is the pocket watch. So we'll make sure to grab his pocket watch and look inside to trigger the secret.
Mary Hudson. She's got to be his wife.
Additionally, if we were to have continued on along this left path, just next to the pocket watch, we can also find secret number 15, according to the menu, Randolph's Journal, part number 9.
This was all Lady Bradshaw's doing.
We are now in the scene, the city, and Jason and Salim have reached this area where they must explore the unknown. As soon as you gain control of Jason, walk forward and to the left, past these 2 statues, and you should be able to find the mysterious artifact sitting in the corner here. Keep in mind, it's possible that Salim may not be alive, but either way, you should reach this scene and be able to pick this up. Also, as you approach the artifact, it will start a cutscene, so just wait until it finishes before you're actually able to scoop it up.
Check this out.
Sounds like music.
That don't sound like...
Continue along the main path until you jump up this ledge. You'll notice a huge crater in the middle, and here you can either go left around the circle or to the right around the circle. We are going to go to the right-hand side, and there are these 2 statues along the edge. Near the second one, you should be able to find the Ruptured skull, secret number 37.
Salim. Looks like someone's been avoiding the...
Now, after the circular room, you'll reach this area where you have to walk through it without stepping on any of the eggs or any of the branches that kind of come out of the trees, or rather cocoons. And I'm going to speed this up, but just make sure you don't step on anything. If you step on something, unfortunately, it'll alert the Lifeform. They'll chase you away and you'll miss the collectible. You'll have to grab it in another playthrough or through chapter select. Now, if you do make it to the end and are successful, you should be able to drop down a ledge, and this should start a cutscene as you're seeing on screen. Directly after this short cutscene, you should be able to go directly to your right-hand side, and here you will find secret number 27, the Fossilized Lifeforms. This one is probably the second hardest one, other than the last one in the game. We'll then reach the Star Chamber in the chapter Strange Eons, and as soon as you can, you should regain control of Rachel here. Now, exactly who's in this room will depend vastly on your playthrough so far, but there should be a lot of collectibles here for you to grab. I believe there are 5, and then another really kind of secret one after that. So as soon as you do gain control of your character, grab Mary's notes on the right. That's secret number 43. You can also find gold picture number 1. This one is called Hotel, and this is a little bit of an Easter egg for the next Dark Anthology Pictures or Dark Pictures Anthology game, and I believe this one's going to be called The Devil in Me. So this is a little preview of that game. There are also 3 more collectibles here. You can find the creature life cycle by going near the middle of the room. Make sure you grab all of these before you interact with the item in the middle of the room. But behind that item, you can find this kind of sketch on a corkboard, and that should be secret number 19. Again, the numbers make no sense. Then the next one you can find on a table next to the object in the middle. This is going to be Randolph's journal, note number 10. This is the final page in Randolph's journal, which will unlock an entirely separate collectibles related achievement / trophy. So you should be able to grab that as soon as you pick it up, as you see on screen here. And one more in this room before we go to the last one. It can be found kind of near-ish where we started, not far from Eric. It would be to our left from where we entered the room. And it's just sitting on a crate. And this one is Van Huyten's Confession, secret number 45 in the in-game menu.
What was in it for him? Is it really all about these tablets?
Last but not least, we have secret number 38, the Alien Parasite, which has a fair bit of conditions that need to be met, although they're all pretty easy. First off, you need to have discovered that the ultraviolet light from the wand is useful against the enemies. Additionally, you'll need Clarice to be dead, which can happen in a wide variety of ways. And you'll need Rachel to have been infected in the sacrificial chamber, which pretty much happens in the majority of the different playthroughs. It's not very obvious that she's infected until you reach this room, but if she was attacked by one of the quote-unquote vampires, then she is infected. Then you will reach the final ending room and you'll interact with the artifact, and you'll notice that Rachel is not feeling very well. The rest of the conditions are all met within this room, but one important thing is that she will go and grab the white phosphorus if you have some, and it's important that you do not use the knife on the white phosphorus. Instead, let the timer run out or drop the knife by aiming it somewhere else on screen. So she's still alive, and now what we need is to convince Jason not to shoot her with the following dialogue options. Start by choosing that you're desperate and tell him to not shoot. Then choose the desperate option again and say, "It's me, Jason." At this point, there will be some dialogue, but get ready for a QTE. Your button press may be different to mine depending on what difficulty you're playing on, but you must be successful in this QTE to disarm Jason. You will then be given another dialogue option, and you must be desperate to just do it, which means that you are agreeing to be cocooned. As this happens, Eric should pull out his ultraviolet wand, shine it on Rachel to eject the alien parasite from within, and we are almost grabbing this collectible. Once the parasite is ejected, Rachel should grab the UV wand, and then you can push forward into the side room to make sure you kill the parasite. The way this works is that you just inspect these little holes in the room, and eventually you will be attacked. I'm not sure if it's the same hole every time, as I only tested this twice. So eventually you'll get attacked, and then the parasite will be dropped on the floor. You will need to do a successful QTE to stomp the parasite, and then after that you can pick it up and inspect it to get your final secret of the game, hopefully unlocking your achievement / trophy. I'm not sure if there's a way to fail the QTE and then use your wand on the parasite, which might get you an achievement. That's something I still have to test. Either way, this should be it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you drop a like. This was a lot of work. A super special thank you to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show, and hopefully I see you soon. Peace.